So how does acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, work? ACT utilizes a mixture of metaphors, experiential exercises, and mindfulness practice to begin seeing our reality for what it really is. If how you're thinking about the problem is actually the problem, more thinking about it ain't going to fix it. It's like if you're trying to put two pieces of wood together and all you have is a saw, your boards are going to keep getting shorter and shorter, and you'll get more and more frustrated as you try to find creative ways to saw faster, better, and at different angles, even as the sawdust coats your protective lenses and the wood disappears from before your very eyes. Approaching unwanted pornography viewing using an addictions approach is like spraying Miracle-Gro on weeds, hoping it will poison them. ACT attempts to steer us away from the traditional way our mind solves problems. Instead, it helps us slow down, get out of our mental ruts, and examine whether or not our attempts are actually working. For example, if we take a step back and think about anxiety, avoiding everything that makes us anxious really limits all the cool things we want to do in this life. And in the end, we're still anxious. That strategy just doesn't work. But that's what your mind keeps telling you to do. Just avoid anxiety. Avoid anything that makes you feel anxious. ACT does not attempt to reduce symptoms such as anxiety, depression, or even pornography viewing. What? How can a treatment that doesn't focus on the reduction of symptoms lead to such a drastic reduction in unwanted pornography viewing? Well, that's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. ACT focuses more on living your life in the present moment, consistent with what you value most. Most of us get stuck when we feel like we have to get rid of social anxiety, stop feeling depressed, or banish pornography forever before we can get on with the business of living. We postpone going to parties, hanging out with friends, attending school, even dating, going to church, all because we have to fix something first before we can live our life. ACT challenges this approach and invites the opposite. Maybe by living our life now, the things we struggle with might, well, take care of themselves, or they can just come along for the ride. Instead of avoiding that awesome party this weekend because we're socially anxious, maybe we invite our social anxiety to come along while we have a good time. Instead of missing our morning class because we feel too depressed to get out of bed, maybe there is room in the seat next to you for your depression, in that abnormal psychology course you've been looking so forward to all semester. Instead of not dating because you are a porn addict, maybe by dating, you'll feel more connection to others and have less need to click on that same porn website for the 4th time that day. You might find out that the more you begin doing the things that are truly important to you, the less you'll feel anxious, depressed, or even view pornography. If you're like me and want an even more comprehensive introduction to ACT with all the nitty-gritty details, I would recommend clicking on the short article by Russell Harris. It's called Embracing Your Demons, an overview of acceptance and commitment therapy. There are many books on ACT out there. The Happiness Trap, also by Russ Harris, and Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life by Stephen Hayes, the creator of ACT, are really helpful if you're interested in reading more about ACT that's been around for decades and helpful for so many mental health concerns, including your struggle with pornography.